when I'm laying out the human figure, here's our 17.5 inches or whatever. I figured my head length's around 2.25, and I'll show you how I usually will lay out when I'm doing a full figured deal. Is here's my first head length. The second head length will bring you usually to the nipples. All right. The nipples are usually one head length apart in there. So a lot of times when I'm drawing, the shoulders are usually two head lengths apart. So when I'm drawing my figure, I'll usually bring my neck down a ways like this. I'm coming out to my shoulders. This is my head length, two head lengths from the center, right? All right. So we're getting that. A lot of times when I'm drawing, since I know the next head length from the chin down hits the nipples, I will draw these pectoral muscles in and under these nipple area like this. Keep in mind, this is all approximate stuff. What's happening, I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm trying to find out where my guy's even sitting on this horse at. So the next head length down from the nipples will usually bring you to the belly button. And when I'm drawing my figure, a lot of times I'll do this, you guys. His rib cage usually ends up around the belly button area. So sometimes I will draw my rib cage like this, a little here, a little here, and this rib cage actually comes in a little bit like that, which this is your belly button area here, right? Well, the abdomen usually comes around here and here. The next head length down will usually bring you to the crotch. So what I'll do is I'll come in slightly at, this is our waist area, right? But then we're coming back out to the hips, which I may be a little wide. The hips are usually about a head and a half or so. That all depends. It changes with person to person. All right. The next head length down from the belly button usually will bring you to the crotch area here. So I'll begin, a lot of times, here's what I'll do. Once I get my upper proportions going for me, sometimes I'll start back at the ground again, and two head lengths from the ground up usually will bring you approximately to the knees. And if we're doing 2.25 head lengths, we're going to say approximately 4.5. I'm going to give it a little. I'm going to go 4.75 to the knee area. So let's draw our legs down. We're coming from the crotch towards the knee here, you guys. Then let's draw from our knee. A lot of times I'll do this at my knees. I'll draw a little kneecap like this thing. Of course, keep in mind, we're just doing approximate. And then I'll draw my calf coming down. And of course, his feet are facing towards us. And of course, his toes will be, in this area. Feet back up. We're coming in a little at the knee. Of course, this can all round out a little, you guys. I'm not the best drawer in the world, but I've laid out, over my 40 plus years of carving, I've laid out the full figure 100 times anyway. I know I have. And because I used to do cigar store indents, right? So I would lay out how big my cigar store indent would. Now, about a head and a half on the arms, you guys. And I just was going to put this down a second to show you. From the shoulder to the elbow, approximately a head and a half. From the back of the elbow to this first fold on the knuckles, approximately a head and a half. And I'm guessing that my arms are around 3.5 inches on each one of those measurements I just give you. So I'm going to mark his elbow here, and then I'm also going to mark down to this first row of knuckles on there. So we're going to be looking, I don't know whether you guys can see or not. Maybe I should put this up here. Of course, these muscles are coming around like this. This is here. And we're bringing his, of course, his thumb's going to be back up here in the wrist, because this mark is this row of knuckles on his hand, right? So we're going to draw his thumb. It may not be correct. This is just a quick idea to show you guys how I usually will lay out the figure.